Welcome, race fans, to episode number 29 of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ovens, coming to you from the Casa de Pork Chop Studios here in beautiful Penn Yan, New York. This is our second go-around for this show this week. We did our normal Monday night recording. However, technology was not on our side this week. Not really sure exactly what happened, but I guess we're going to have to file that into the quote-unquote lost episode files or something of that nature, because when we put the show out on Tuesday morning, our good friend Steve Kellogg notified us right away to say, hey, guys, there's no sound here. So we do apologize for that. However, having a delayed episode does give us the opportunity to talk about the Thunder Mountain show, Lightning on the Mountain for the NDRL Short Track Super Series, fueled by VP Race Fuels. That took place last night. I'm recording this on Wednesday, and Lightning on the Mountain took place on Tuesday night. Clint Miller, myself, Clint's daughter Caitlin, we all made the trip out to Thunder Mountain. None of us have ever been there before. Nice little track, and some pretty good racing there. Yeah, we definitely did get a little bit dirty, but you know, it's a dirt track, and you got to come to expect that from time to time. So let's dig right into the show tonight. We've got a lot of good things. We're going to talk about Thunder Mountain. We've got interviews with 4 of the top 5 finishers from Lightning on the Mountain. We've got interviews and a race recap from Shangri-La 2 this past Sunday down in Tioga Center, New York. We've got the results and we've got interviews from that race as well, so we'll get into that. We're also going to catch up and have a little drive-by with the Cobra, Chuck Hebing, who's going to stop by and help preview this 3-race weekend here on Memorial Day weekend for the Lucas Oil Empire Super Sprints. He's getting ready to head out to the Albany-Saratoga Speedway, Fonda, and also Utica Rome on Sunday. And we all know how good Cobra is at Utica Rome, so we're going to catch up with him and also have him tell us about this other car he's climbed into recently down at the Watkins Glen International Raceway. So he's going to tell us all about that. And before we go any further, I do want to mention, and Clint and I had done a segment the other night that's now part of the lost audio file. We wanted to reach out and mention all of our family and friends who've been affected by the flooding in Penn Yan. A lot of business owners that both Clint and I have worked for, friends that have businesses down there, and even Brad and my family has been touched by that flood. A very close uncle of ours, Bruce Carrick, and his family, unfortunately lost everything in that flood, home, garage, vehicles, and you know, we're thinking about all of them, and we want to make sure that all of our Turn 5 listeners are doing the same. Keep all those folks in your thoughts and prayers. A lot of families and businesses that have been affected heavily have the GoFundMe pages up. A lot of the links you can find on the internet and on Facebook. You know, we're doing what we can to help all those folks out, and you know, just been a really, really tough time for all of the folks down there. The racing community has been incredibly supportive during this time. Dan Harpel with the Yates County Speedway announcing that the drivers that attend the Tuesday, June 3rd Race of Champions Dirt Modified Tour event will be going over to the grandstand side to pass the helmet as a fundraiser for the Yates County Red Cross to help those funds go out to the victims of the flooding and help them get some sense of normalcy back and get them back up on their feet. So they're going to be doing that on Tuesday, June 3rd, and obviously they canceled even before we knew really what the weather was going to be. Friday night just was a really really tough deal here in Yates County, and pretty awesome show of support from Dan and his staff by closing the racetrack last Friday. I know a lot of folks were looking forward to getting on the track, and just a lot of racers, race fans. Even the flagger, Steve, was telling us that a lot of the roads he was going to take to go to the racetrack have just been washed out in the area that he lives in. So really tough deal, and we're thinking about all those folks. We'll go off to a commercial break here on Turn 5. When we come back, we'll start going through all of the results here and all the great interviews we have. Stay tuned. You're listening to Turn 5. Penn Yan Electronics is the official Radio Shack dealer of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They're also the only Radio Shack dealer in the Penn Yan area. Visit them at 103 Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan for all of your electronics, cable, music, and cell phone needs. Visit Penn Yan Electronics or give them a call, 315-536-7700. Penn Yan Electronics. RaceChaserOnline.com is your home for news, views, and driver interviews. You can catch everything from F1 to IndyCar, NASCAR, short track, and dirt car. You can also find them on Speed 77 Radio Mondays on Shoutcast. Catch Motorsports Madness live at 7 p.m. and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report Thursdays at 7 p.m. Race Chaser Online. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. If you need karaoke for your bar or party, or if you need the photo booth to create memories that'll last a lifetime, give Stu a call at 315-481-9700, or you can find him on Facebook, search Creekside Entertainment, or find him on the World Wide Web, www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com.
Your dirt track home for news, discussion, and driver interviews along with race results. You're listening to Turn 5.
Welcome back, race fans of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. Thank you for joining us this week. I want to remind you always to check us out on iTunes. You can subscribe to us there and leave us comments. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just search Turn 5 Racing Podcast. And you also can connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. If you're a Twitter and like to send out those tweets, tweet us at Turn 5 Podcast. And you can find us on Facebook, Turn 5 Racing Podcast. We have all great updates from any races that we go out to. And while we're talking about Facebook, I want to remind you, any late model fans, any BRP Can-Am late model fans, we here at Turn 5 working alongside Gary Montgomery and his staff and folks there at the BRP Can-Am Late Model Series just launched their Facebook page. We're working alongside with Gary on that and getting more information out on the social media side of things. So if you like that, make sure, if you like the information being posted there, make sure to let Gary know that you appreciate that information being available on Facebook. And be sure if there's any of your late model friends that might want to know the news and happenings that we post there on the page, make sure to share that with them using the Facebook share application. So let's get into Lightning on the Mountain. Just happened last night. Again, we're recording this on Wednesday night. And boy, what a field of modifieds out there at Thunder Mountain. I would say it's safe to say that this was definitely a home run for Brett Deyo, with Brett Deyo Motorsports Media, the NDRL Short Track Super Series fueled by VP Race Fuels. 73 modifieds filled the pit area at Thunder Mountain. That number may be tough to top. I don't even know that they get that many cars to challenge the mile. And of course, I don't have those numbers exactly, so don't quote me on that. But boy, I got to tell you, for two divisions of racing, 99 race cars, that's just incredible. and they ran all sorts of, also a slew of heats here that were run for qualifying. Now remember, the NDRL modifieds, part of the Short Track Super Series, they use passing points. So, if you started on the pole and won your heat, as far as passing points go, you're good there. However, if you started second and finished fourth, you're definitely going to be in some trouble, where some guys like Matt Shepard, like Danny Johnson, who moved up through the field in their heat race and scored a good number of passing points, that turned out pretty well for them. And the thing is, and Matt Shepard, who won the race Tuesday night, is a perfect example of why these passing points on the Short Track Super Series is perfect. Because you've got a one-day special show like that. Now, yes, it's part of a series, but it's a very small series. Matt Shepard pulls into the place, draws the largest possible number he could have drawn. Now, at any other regular heat race and qualifying and redraw, that would have sunk him for the day. He would have had a tough road to hoe to even have a chance of getting a good starting spot in the feature, where with this combined system that Brett Deyo uses, he came in, drew the worst possible number he could, but made a lot of good moves in his heat race and got a ton of passing points. And as it turned out, the redraw worked in his favor, drew the outside pole, and him and Chad Cook would put on a battle for the 50 laps there at Thunder Mountain last night. So let's get into the race breakdown. Yellow fever was really the topic of discussion early on in that feature. I think we were on lap 5 for about 3 or 4 yellow flag periods for different reasons. Now, I mean, there was about 28, maybe even 30 cars that started the feature. So you had 3 cars come from each of the heat races, and so a lot of cars on the small track, but was a great race. There was a lot of good racing through the field. Guys were able to make moves, and if you've ever been to Thunder Mountain, turn 4 is a bit of a trick there. That wall comes up on you real quick. Almost kind of reminded me a little bit of a turn 4 at Woodhall, and I'm sure some of the drivers may even disagree with that assessment. But it seemed like guys who had not been to Thunder Mountain before really struggled with that wall coming up and catching them quick. I know one driver in the heat race just hit it a ton, and that did not bode well for their night. Also involved in heat race accidents was Alan Johnson, driving a Jeff Brownell JB Motorsports ride, number 29. He got into an accident in the heat race. They had to pack up and head home. Brett Hearn in the Fox Shocks number 20 got into an accident, and if you see the pictures on our Facebook page, some pretty significant front-end damage to that number 20 ride, and they would end up packing up and heading home as well. And as you look at the drivers who didn't qualify for the A main last night, I mean, a lot of people have commented on Facebook today that this could have been an all-star race right here, and it absolutely could have. Listen to some of the names of the drivers that did not qualify. Dale Plank, who was very, very close to qualifying. He came up one spot short in the last chance qualifier. Eric Rudolph was also in that last chance qualifier. He did not make the show. Mitch Gibbs did not make the show. Alan Johnson. Let's look down through the list here. Brett Hearn, who I just mentioned. Craig Hansen didn't make the field. Doug Manmiller didn't make the field. Gary Tompkins, Rich Urich, Alan Rudalovich, Tyler Seary, Roy Shields, Anthony Perego, who had a great run going and was battling for the lead at Orange County. He didn't make the feature. Mike Mahaney didn't make the feature, and that's the second Short Track Super Series race that he hasn't made the field in. Pat Ward was in a spot that would have put him in the last chance qualifier, and then either spun or broke. The way he spun really looked kind of odd. I suspect that maybe something broke on that car. Not sure. They packed up fairly quickly, as you can imagine, after that race was done. Marcus Dinkins, Tyler Dipple, Tim Courier, Danny Creedon, just some names that ended up packing up and going home. Was just unbelievable to see how many quality cars didn't make the field. Back to the race, Matt Shepard started on the outside pole. Pretty much, you could say that he had a dominating performance, but that would definitely sell Chad Cook's run short. Chad Cook, who is a local there, really put pressure on Matt Shepard, particularly about halfway through the race. As they crossed the start-finish line for halfway, he started making a run on him, got side-by-side with Shepard, wasn't able to pull off the pass, and it was really at that point that Matt kind of figured out where he needed to be the rest of the race, and at that point, there really wasn't much Cook could do. The second half of the race, the track really became a one-lane track. Cook did try to use the outside a few times and actually looked like maybe one time he was going to get a good run, but just didn't happen. Matt Shepard took home the win, and Cook had to settle for second. Vic Coffey ran third all night long. He came home third. Stuart Friesen, who got himself up to fourth, and that was about as far as he could get to, and we'll talk to him about why. Danny Johnson, who had to start 14th, he got himself up into the top 5 and was battling Friesen for a little while, just couldn't make the pass. And, of course, the night before, Danny started 16th up at Merrittville in the 358 Modified Series and ended up pulling off the win there. So 2 top 5s in 2 nights for the Doctor. Not too bad there. Jeff Hetzler, who got a top 5 down at Orange County for the Short Track Super Series, he came in at 6th. Dwayne Howard in the Atlas Paving 66 came home 7th. Andy Bicchetti, who had to win a consolation race, got himself all the way up to 8th, had a great run in his 34. Matt Jester coming all the way from Delaware and won the last chance qualifier to get into the show, came home 9th, and rounding out the top 10 was your hard charger, Bob McGannon, of the race. So, pretty good race down there. Do want to make mention, and we've got interviews, and actually we'll go to those interviews right now. 2 guys that qualified for the A-Main, local guys, Yates County Speedway and Woodhull Raceway regulars, Dale Welty and Donnie Lawson both made the show, and just to make that show is a great payday, just to get yourself qualified. And when you got 73 cars showing up, getting yourself in the field right away was a great feat for both of those guys. And before we get to our top 5 interviews, I did want to let you guys hear from our local guys who made the show. So we'll hear from Dale Welty and we'll hear from Donnie Lawson. Here at Thunder Mountain Speedway, going to talk to a guy, Woodhull and Yates County regular, makes it in the A-Main tonight. Dale Welty, congratulations first off for making the A-Main. I mean, 73 cars, that's quite a feat.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Yeah, that's pretty good. We got a lot of really top-notch cars that are going to go home, and we're low budget. If anybody's ever been low budget, we're pretty low budget, and just to make this field is almost a victory for us.
Now, being that that's the case, what's the goal going into the feature?
Well, we think, I've always loved Thunder Mountain. I really like this track. I always seem to finish well, so, it might be pie in the sky, but I think we try to go for a top 10 here. If things work out and we happen to hit a setup, maybe we'll do even better than that, I hope.
A lot of changes to make before feature time?
We're going to do a few. We were watching the track. The question is how hard this is on the right rear tires. It looks really dry. We might go up a compound, possibly. other than that, we're not going to change an awful lot. Just got to drive smart and drive fast.
Well, congratulations on making the feature, and good luck to you in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, that's Dale Welty. Makes it into the A main tonight. He'll start 20th here for the Short Track Super Series at Thunder Mountain. Pit side at Thunder Mountain, getting ready for the A main tonight. 50 laps here at Thunder Mountain Speedway. Talking with a guy, Woodhall regular, that made the show into the A main. Going to go away from the 24th position, Donnie Lawson. 73 cars here. Just making the A main is a good start for the night.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it pays $500 just to take the green, so that's a crate feature win in a lot of places. So we were happy to make the show. Had a good starting spot. Had a little too much gear in the heat, bounced off the wall a couple times, but we got in. So I guess that's what's important.
I see you guys were working on a gear change. Any other big changes you guys got to make for feature time tonight?
Trying to snug it up. We were real loose up off 4. We'd never run. Well, I ran here like 8 years ago, so it's a sort of a guessing game. Trying not to change it too much so we don't get it too snug up off and have it free in traffic. So we'll see how we go. Snugged it up and took some gear out and give it a shot.
What's the past experience at Thunder Mountain been?
You know what? It was so long ago I don't even remember. I remember it was a T3 race, and I think we got like 10th or something. But I didn't remember the track looked like. I had to walk up and look at it when we got here. So it's, I guess I'm getting old and I forget things easy.
Well, congratulations on making the feature, and good luck in those 50 laps tonight.
Thanks a lot.
All right, that's Donnie Lawson. He's in the show. That pays $500 just to start here at Thunder Mountain. And what a run there for Dale Welty. Actually ran out there the entire race, ended up coming home 15th, and I think he got a piece of a jingle up in turn 1 and 2, but I don't think it really did any damage because he continued on and actually was running back toward the tail of the lead lap cars and was getting kind of racy with some of those guys back there. So congratulations, Dale, coming home with a 15th place finish. And Donnie had to start 24th. He was back in the back of the pack where a lot of accidents and jingles were taking place, and he was the second car to fall victim last night. But just like he said, just to qualify for the race was $500. So that's a win for those guys at a normal crate race. So congratulations to our local guys doing well. Now let's get to the interviews from. We've got first place, third, fourth, and fifth. We tried to catch up with Chad Cook, but they were either at the pay line or watching the finish of the Sportsman race, and we did not catch up with Chad. But we do have interviews from Matt Shepard, Vic Coffey, Stuart Friesen, and Danny Johnson. So let's hear from those four guys. Pit side with your winner here, Lightning at the Mountain at Thunder Mountain. Matt Shepard had a great car right from the outside pole tonight.
Yeah, good car all night. I don't know, these guys do a heck of a job. Two of the worst number coming in the gate.
Yeah.
We were able to get up through there, get in the redraw, and get a good draw, and the car was great all feature long. Other than the bad draw, night doesn't go much smoother than that.
Talk about the pressure that you were getting from Chad Cook. I mean, he was really laying it on late in the race.
Yeah, he really was. He was really good. I kind of got caught by surprise there halfway through the race or so. I didn't know where to run. I felt good, but I got out front so early. I didn't really know where the fast line was. Seeing him poking around kind of changed up a little bit. My right front tire died a little bit at the end, but I'll tell you what, he did a heck of a job tonight. He was really good.
Tell us about it. I believe this was your first experience here at Thunder Mountain, right?
Yeah, first time I've ever seen the place. Pretty cool little place, racy. I like it.
Not a bad record, 1-for-1 here at Thunder Mountain.
Yep, I'll take it.
All right, that's Matt Shepard. He takes the win tonight, and got a lot of racing coming up here this weekend. Pit side after the Lightning at the Mountain here at Thunder Mountain. Going to talk to the guy who finished third tonight, Vic Coffey. Vic, Looked like you had a strong run in the 32C. What more did you need to get up there with the top two?
Well, we pulled quite a bit of gear out before the feature because I was wheel spinning pretty bad in the heat. I probably should have paid a little more attention to track prep because I don't went up there and realized they watered the track. And for about the first 25 laps, I needed that gear back.
Yeah.
The last 10 or 15, the car was actually pretty good and it was getting better the whole time. But, I think that's the only thing I could have done different is just maybe had a little more gear for the beginning part of the race. But, I don't know if it would have made any difference. Might have looked better, I guess. Might have raced a little harder for the lead or something. But that's about it, really. The car was pretty good.
Field of 73 cars tonight. I mean, just making the main is a feat in itself. But then to come home third, it's got to feel good for your team.
Yeah, it does. I don't do this all the time anymore, trying to get back into a rhythm with the modifieds. And, we come to a show like this, a lot of cars, it's good to, first you want to make the race, but, to come out of here with a top three, the way things have gone lately, the last few times anyways, I'm real happy with it. And, hopefully we can just keep it rolling and I'm going to go to a couple late model races and then go to Utica Sunday and Monday and try and keep things happening.
All right, Vic, congratulations on a third place finish. We'll see you at Utica.
All right, man, thank you.
All right, that's Vic Coffey. Comes home third tonight at Lightning on the Mountain at Thunder Mountain. Pit side after Lightning at the Mountain here at Thunder Mountain. I'm going to talk to our fourth place finisher tonight, Stuart Friesen. Stuart, what did you need to get up with Vic and Matt and Cook?
We just needed a little bit more forward drive and a little bit more motor. It felt like we were kind of like gear bound there. I think we might have had a little bit too much gear in it. Good night for us, so we'll take a top five. We avoided a lot of catastrophes and had a pretty smooth, uneventful night. So we'll build on that. It's good for the points and everything else, and see how it shakes up in the next one.
Where are you guys going to be headed next the rest of this week?
We're going to Albany, Saratoga Friday with the sprint car, and then Fonda doubleheader with the modified sprint car Saturday, and Utica Rome sprint car modified Sunday, and then the big 100-lapper Monday. So a lot of racing coming up, and we're in pretty good shape here. We're putting a small block in one of Tom Cullen's cars for Utica to see if we can gain something there, and we'll just keep plugging away. These open shows are tough. I know what the 357's got for a motor, and nobody else has got what he's got right now. So we'll keep working on it, and we'll try to get it better.
Tell us your run the other night with the late model. What was that experience like?
It was cool. It was a lot of fun. I got to thank AJ and Eric Kingsley for giving me the opportunity to do that. I think we would have had a nice, solid top 10 there, and just kind of got in a jingle and got a flat tire. So something we're probably going to do a little bit more of, and a little bit of an experience there for some stuff I think we were doing down the road in the summertime. So and one last thing, I'm talking about the asphalt modified announcement this week as well. Yeah, that was kind of premature. We're going to do some races. Buzz Chew team's putting together a third car with some different stuff on it with Troyer, and it's still on the jig right now. So personally, I'm really hoping to be at New Hampshire for that race. I've talked with the people at NASCAR and Brett Bodine and stuff, and they're going to approve us for that, barring some testing and stuff. So we're getting all the approval and all the T's crossed and I's dotted, and then hopefully towards the end of the year we can get out and do some racing. I'm really looking forward to that. Well, hope that works out for you, and again, congratulations on a fourth place run tonight. All right, thank you so much. All right, that's Stuart Friesen. He'll be doing a lot of racing the rest of this coming week, and gets a solid fourth place finish here at Thunder Mountain. Post-race at the Lightning at the Mountain here at Thunder Mountain Speedway. Going to talk to the guy that came home 5th. Started 14th tonight, and Dan, car looked real quick down on the bottom side of the Speedway for you tonight.
Yeah, it was working really well for us tonight. We just came up, a little bit short with a starting spot at 14th. Didn't help us out tonight. So, with that being said, we did well getting up to 5th. Did you need a longer run? It seemed like there was a lot of cautions early. Were those helping you out at all, or did you need a longer run? No, it was just tough going there early. I mean, once about 25, 30 laps got put on the track, it was pretty much a single file track after that. So all the racing was done early, and it was tough. It was just tough going, with the single file starts and all. After charging from 16th and getting the win last night, top five's got to feel good for 2 top fives now on the Short Track Super Series. Yeah, we get to bring home one piece, so that's great. It's a great deal. Yeah. All right. Thanks for your time, Danny, and good luck next time out. Thank you. All right. As Danny Johnson comes home 5th tonight here at Thunder Mountain.
And he had a pretty strong run coming from 14th. He really just picked cars off one by one, working his way up to the top 5 and ending with a top 5 finish. He'll be. They just announced today, I saw on social media, that they'll be headed out to Ransomville for the $3,000 to win race this coming Friday night. So if you're a fan of the Doctor, you're going to want to make your way on out to Ransomville this Friday night. Let's also talk about the Sportsman feature. 25 laps there. Kevin Jordan took home the $1,000 win. This was an open Sportsman versus crate Sportsman event. Billy Spoonhauer took home second. Eddie White was third. Brian Crummell was fourth. And Andrew Ferguson rounded out the top 5 there for the Sportsman. Want to mention Brian Crummell again. He started 15th, finished 4th. That picked up him $55.55, courtesy of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. So congratulations to Brian on picking up the Hard Charger Award. We were honored to be a part of that, be a part of the special awards and extra money to go toward the Sportsman class. A lot of guys came out there, and we wanted to kind of help make that worth their while coming out there. So good night of racing out at the Thunder Mountain Speedway. Thank you to Brett Dale for having us out to cover the event, and there's also a full report that you can find about Lightning on the Mountain up on racechaseronline.com, so be sure to check that out. We're going to go off to a commercial break. When we come back, we've got more racing to talk about from Shangri-La 2, and we've also got a drive-by with the Cobra, Chuck Hebing. Stay tuned, you're listening to Turn 5. Penn Yan Electronics is the official Radio Shack dealer of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They're also the only Radio Shack dealer in the Penn Yan area. Visit them at 103 Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan for all of your electronics, cable, music, and cell phone needs. Visit Penn Yan Electronics or give them a call, 315-536-7700. Penn Yan Electronics. RaceChaserOnline.com is your home for news, views, and driver interviews. You can catch everything from F1 to IndyCar, NASCAR, short track, and dirt car. You can also find them on Speed 77 Radio Mondays on Shoutcast. Catch Motorsports Madness live at 7 p.m. and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report Thursdays at 7 p.m. Race Chaser Online. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. If you need karaoke for your bar or party, or if you need the photo booth to create memories that'll last a lifetime, give Stu a call at 315-481-9700, or you can find him on Facebook, search Creekside Entertainment, or find him on the World Wide Web, www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com.
Your dirt track home for news, discussion, and driver interviews, along with race results. You're listening to Turn 5.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, brought to you by Creekside Entertainment, Penn Yan Electronics, and Race Chaser Online Speed 77 Radio. I guess I lied when I started recording this episode. I'm not alone here in the Casa de Pork Chop Studios. We've got our show mascot, Bel Nato, here, helping us out tonight. She's my little assistant here in the studio. So let's talk about Shangri-La 2. Clint and I made our maiden voyage out to Shangri-La 2 on Sunday. Got to see some racing there, and really a good time out there out on the concrete. If you've never been to Shangri-La 2, you gotta make your way out there and catch a race. Pretty good action out there in Tioga Center, New York. And if you're interested in asphalt modifieds, that's a great track to see those guys out there at. If you look at the box score from the race, you'll see that Matt Hirschman took the win there. And, if you just look at the results, you say, Matt Hirschman won again, la-di-da. But, the thing is it was an incredible race between him and Chuck Hosfeld. Never really seen a run like that before between those guys, because last year, and years past, you look at Matt Hirschman and you say, God, that guy just dominates everywhere he goes. And I got to tell you, Chuck Hosfeld has really got something for him this year. We saw him finish second to him down at Chemung, and Hirschman was able to keep him at an arm's length during that race. And then when we go down to Shangri-La 2, Hosfeld threw everything he had at him. When they say he threw everything but the kitchen sink at him, well, Hosfeld threw everything and the kitchen sink. He threw everything at Hirschman. And Hirschman, as you'll hear, says after the race he really had to earn that one, and he certainly did. So let's hear from our top finishers from Shangri-La 2 with the Race of Champions Asphalt Modified Tour. Post-race here at Shangri-La 2, walking down pit road here with Matt Hirschman, your winner today. Matt, I know you said in Victory Lane you really had to work for this one today.
Yeah, I'm glad we got out front when we did. I mean, that was our strong point of the race. Started 8th. Good thing it wasn't too far back, because that was seemed to be when we were at our best to be able to make moves and get out front, and then definitely not as strong as he was later. So, just happy we held him off. Could have went either way today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking back, at the last ROC race at Chemung, I mean, you were able to keep him at an arm's length, and today he was throwing everything but the kitchen sink at you.
Yeah, he was strong. I think, you could see his strong points and my strong and weak points, and even the same at Chemung could see where we were better and than he was that day. But like I said, it could have went either way today. One of them deals worked out for us today.
Talk about Oswego coming up next weekend. Any thoughts about going back to the Steel Palace?
No, I mean, it's just hopefully we see some nice weekend weather. I mean, weather next weekend.
Yeah.
I got 3 races planned, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So just hope we have some nice weather. It turned out nice here now, but it wasn't this morning, and that sucks for the fans and anybody that didn't come because it wasn't as nice. But like I said, just hope for good weather and good race, and just do the best we can, and we'll see where we end up.
All right, congrats on the win. We'll see you at the Steel Palace next weekend.
Thank you.
All right, that's Matt Hirschman. He brings home the win today in the Race of Champions Asphalt Modified Tour here in Tioga Center, New York at Shangri-La 2. Welcome back pitside here with Chuck Hosfeld. Come home second today. Chuck, right there with Matt all the way through. Looks like you guys were pretty evenly matched today.
Yeah, Matty's had a strong run, like 3 years in 2-3 years in a row. I think that this year is going to be different. We're going to be eye to eye now. We stepped it up over the wintertime. They do a great job, and we're just trying to better our program so that we're there even with them. And I've got a great crew. I've got great equipment, and we just keep plugging away. And I think you'll see that we gained this year. It was a lot of a fun race. I'd raced them. It was a good, clean race, and unfortunately, I think I had him dead to rights, and a caution came out, and we had to go back a lap. And so that was the unfortunate thing. But a great race, I think, for the fans, and a great race to drive. I know I drove hard every single lap and didn't leave anything on the table, and I assume he did too. So it was a good race.
All right, thank you very much, Chuck, and we'll see him next weekend out at Oswego, out at the Steel Palace for their Memorial Day ROC race here for the Race of Champions Asphalt Modified Tour. After the ROC 75 here at Shangri-La 2, we're going to catch up with Austin Kokanash and another top 5 run for you here at Shangri-La. Tell us about your run today.
Yeah, it was a good run. We don't always run the best here, but to come here and get a third is a good motivator. And, track position was everything. And starting that far in the back, it was hard to come up. But, we got to third, and that was about all we could do. We were still tight, which, that's pretty good. And maybe next time if we start up front, closer to the front, we'll be able to get them.
Looking ahead to Oswego, what is your experience up there at the Steel Palace?
Yeah, I ran there twice last year with the ROC 200. I got 4th. In the Fall Classic, I got 3rd. So I'm excited to go back there.
All right, we'll see you out there at Oswego.
Thanks.
That's Austin Kokonesh taking 3rd place today here at Shangri-La 2. Post-race at Shangri-La 2, Race of Champions Asphalt Modified 75-lap feature. Coming home 4th today, Patrick Emmerling. Pretty good run, up to 3rd at one point and fell back to 4th right there at the end. So tell us about your run.
Yeah, it was, the car was awesome. Jan Leedy prepared an awesome, a good car. And, we tried a couple things and, the car was excellent. I could just drive around everyone, coming up through. Coming up, starting from 14th, I didn't really get a good run going in the heat race, but I didn't make the redraw, but ended up getting to where I need to be, pretty shortly. The car was rotating excellent, in the beginning of the race, and I just, as the race went on, the car, it just tightened up, and, track rubbered up, and I was just losing it towards the end. I was good. I was decent on restarts for a little while. Then I just kind of lost it as the run went on. So I couldn't get out of my own way towards the end there.
Tell us about those restarts. They sure looked exciting here from the inside of the track.
Yeah, they're definitely fast. It's definitely, you got to be on the ball. Them guys. Yeah, they launch out pretty good.
You mentioned that the track rubbered up. Was that something you expected as the race wore on?
Yeah, yep. Usually the track, a track like this would rubber up and kind of tighten up the cars, and that's kind of what happened to us, and we were just a bit too tight, on the long run. So.
Talk to us about Oswego next weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to come straight from Stafford and go to Oswego. Stafford on Friday, Oswego Saturday, so... I'm excited. We got the cars running good now. Jan, he did an excellent job on the car. This thing needed a rear clip after the last race.
Oh, yeah.
We ended up finishing, but, I got smashed so hard on a restart that it actually, smashed the fuel cell. The bladder was hanging out of the car.
Oh, wow.
And the rear clip was swayed over a good inch or so. So we had to, from before the last, right after the last race, we had to take it right to Troyer's. And then Jan, he did an excellent job. Jan and Mike and the whole Leedy crew, they did an excellent job, getting them together and making it competitive, and showing up here with a fresh rear clip.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing you out there at Oswego.
Thank you.
All right, that's Patrick Emmerling. Comes home 4th today here at the ROC at Shangri-La. After the ROC 75 here at Shangri-La 2, over here in the Zacharias camp, come home with a 5th place finish, and I think considering everything that happened today, not a bad recovery to come back for 5th.
Yeah, I can't complain too much, but I can. We got the flat tire early on when we were riding around, and we had to go to the rear, and once I knew it was go time, we went, and I got the 3 guys ahead of me there when I was 8th, and they were holding me up, and I got them, and once from there on out, the 66 and the 07 were ahead of me. They were a little bit, I was better than them too, and I got the 66 and I drove around the outside of the 07, and he drove it in a couple lengths deeper knowing that there was a car outside of him, and it's just getting normal with him. It's getting a little old. I can't complain too much. We came out here with a 5th, but we definitely had a top 3 finish.
You guys' next race will be at Oswego next weekend?
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, we'll see you there. That's Jimmy Zacharias coming home 5th today in these number 71 here at the Shangri-La 2. Wow, some pretty strong words there from Jimmy Zacharias in his 71 car toward Patrick Emmerling. Those guys are going to be out at the Steel Palace this coming weekend, Oswego Speedway. They've got a nice triple header up there on Saturday night. They've got a 75-lap Jimmy Champagne Memorial Race, which is actually going to be recorded for MAV TV. That's going to be aired in... Oh, of course I would forget the date. I was just looking at that. But their Jimmy Champagne Memorial is going to be recorded with Thomas Video, who you know from all over the Finger Lakes and the Northeast here. And they're going to be televising the 75-lap Jimmy Champagne Memorial. and that will be aired on Thursday, July 3rd at 8 p.m. So it is going to be a tape delayed of that feature event, but you can catch that on MAV TV. If you're not going to be able to make it out to the track, you can also catch it on Asphalt Vision. You can see all 3 races for $24.99. You'll see the Jimmy Shampine Memorial, the Richie Evans Memorial, and the Tony White Memorial for the small block super modifieds. They'll be running a 35-lap event, so a lot of good action coming up this weekend at Oswego. Make sure to check that out. And we'll see if this little rivalry here between Emmerling and Jimmy Zacharias continues on. So good action out there at Shangri-La. I want to thank the folks at Shangri-La, too, for having us out there to cover that event. A lot of fun out there, and if we can fit it in our schedule, we're going to try and get out to some more asphalt modified races. Speaking of races, we're going to catch up here. Little drive-by with the Cobra. Chuck Hebing is going to help us preview this coming weekend at Albany, Saratoga, Fonda, and Utica Rome with the Empire Super Sprints. He was getting his sprinter ready tonight out at their shop in Ontario, New York, and he's going to stop by and talk to us about this coming weekend. Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, brought to you by Creekside Entertainment, Race Chaser Online, Speed 77 Radio, and Penny and Electronics. Go into the Turn 5 hotline to bring in a driver who's going to be doing a lot of racing this weekend. None other than the driver of the Wilkins RV Cobra Coaches, number 45, Chuck Hebing. Chuck, thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Hey, good to hear from you.
All right, so let's talk some 360 sprint cars here. You've got your season started off, already got some races in with the Empire Super Sprints and the Patriot Sprint Tour, and picked up a win down at Woodhull in pretty convincing fashion a few weeks ago here. How do we evaluate things with the season so far in 2014?
So far, it started out good. I mean, Can-Am, we had a real good car out there. Just had a little mechanical failure, but nothing doing as far as speed. We were real quick down there also. So I would say the first 3 were good, and we weren't too bad down the Selinsgrove. Just had a bad draw, started in the back of the heat, and started 19th in the feature, and got to 8th. I think we had a better car than that, but so far things are good. Cars are fast, so hopefully this weekend up to this 3-day weekend that we can run in the top 5 a little more consistent this weekend.
Yeah, and this weekend coming up, talking about the Empire Super Sprints, they're going to be making their way to Albany, Saratoga, Fonda, and Utica Rome. So, Chuck, tell me, I know you've got some races on both series so far. Are you following Empire Super Sprints, or are we kind of running races all over this year?
I'm going to be hitting this for sure this year. Not going to follow the points at all this year for either group. Just going to, hitting this when it's convenient for scheduling and travel-wise, and hopefully do a little more racing with Kelly in the meanwhile. That's
good. Looking at it from driver's perspective, when you're not necessarily chasing the points, does it make it more fun for you as a driver, not having the concerns of the points and just trying to go out and get wins and top 5s each night?
Oh, definitely. I think it takes kind of that pressure off that you're worried about a point finish instead of trying to win the race, or most of us race to win anyways. Most of the guys I race with, it just makes it nice when you don't have to make some of them long trips when weather is a factor, and you go anyways because of the points. So it does take a little pressure off of the traveling. If the weather don't look good, you just don't have to go. It just makes it a little easier.
And looking at the win you guys picked up here a couple weeks ago at Woodhull, tell us about that run down there. Seems like you guys were pretty good right off the trailer down there on the high banks.
Yeah, we've always done pretty well down there, and then the past couple of years I've been off a little bit. They changed the track a little bit on the surface, they said, and we went back with a whole new setup with the car, and it just it seemed to really suit the way the track was that night.
And looking up to this coming weekend with ESS, looking at the tracks you guys are going to this weekend, is there any one that sticks out as being one that you look forward to more than the other two, or do we like these tracks equally?
I haven't been to Albany in years. I haven't been to Albany back when I think it was a Patriot race, maybe 5-6 years ago. I haven't been there in years. So that's going to be kind of a challenge on its own, just not being familiar with it. Fonda, I've had some good runs there, but I've struggled there also. But that has a new surface on it also this year. So I think them two tracks are pretty open for everybody. I mean, some of the ESS guys got 1 year under their belts there, but I think that's pretty open on who could win that race. And then, always looking forward to going to Utica. I got a new car that we're going to, with Doug Emery and stuff, going to try some new stuff, new Eagle car, and hopefully that can get us back up to not that we've been running bad there, but just we used to be able to run real well there. So hopefully we'll be a little better this year there.
It really seemed like for years going to Utica Rome, it was, keep your eye on that 45 car because you guys really hit on a hard slick setup that really worked there at Utica.
Yeah, the track's been changed. The surface there has changed, too, throughout the past few years. It used to be you ran right through the middle of the racetrack when it was dead ice, and then the past couple of years we won some races. It seemed like you run right on the very top of the racetrack. Well, now it seems to be back down to the middle of the racetrack, so we got to kind of get back to our groove on that deal.
And hopefully you guys will be able to do so with the Eagle chassis. Let's talk about this young driver that you guys are grooming. Talk a little bit about Kelly's upbringing in the sprint cars so far.
Oh, just like you say, it's something to keep her occupied with it. She does very well with it, and it makes her keep a certain grade point average in school to keep her toys, and I don't know, keeps her out of trouble. Apparently, she enjoys racing as much as I do, or she'd be out getting in trouble instead of working on the race car tonight.
Yeah, and, anything that you can find on, the social media, she seems to keep the Team Cobra pretty well with all the news and stuff out there, and seems like you guys are really having a good time racing together.
Yeah, no stuff. It's good family sport. We have good friends that we travel with, and, it's good. Like I say, she's going to still do mostly this year, hit and miss some 305 stuff. We're going to let her run down to Utica again with the 360 car. She's still going to run her 305 and see how she does down there on the slippery track. So, no, she's going to, she's still going to run quite a bit this year, but kind of just hit and miss just like us.
And let's touch real quick on that. With her running the 305 at Utica, typically that track can get pretty slick there, and I just wondered what your thought is on the 305, because it seemed like the first time she was out there with those guys, she was able to kind of hold her own there with some of them.
And I think she'll be able to hold her own for the back part of the group. Let's say 10th place, 10th to 20th. I think you can get away with that 305 without a problem from what we've seen in the past. I mean, I watched Danny Varon do very well there with a 305. So, no, I think she'll be all right. I don't think you're going to run in the top 5 with a 305 car by any means, but I think you could, you got a legitimate chance of running, from 10th to 15th, I think, if your night goes good and you make the right choices, just because of how slippery the racetrack is and how much horsepower you really can't apply. So it really depends on the racetrack. If it's a fast racetrack, it should be in trouble with the 305.
Yeah. Something that I had talked to her about last season, after the spill she took at Canandaigua, was after that accident, it sounded as though she was kind of getting you on board with this crash pad technology, and I was just curious if that was something that you followed through with this year, and what your thoughts are on it so far.
Yeah, well, her car has one of them in there, and and I don't know if that helped her. Luck went a long way in her injury too. I mean, her car was more of a head-on hit. That's not really what the crash pad is, designed for. That's more designed for, impact on your tailbone and stuff like that. But, she definitely come up out of the seat and went back down in the seat hard because of the stoppage. But, we try to do as much as we can between the seat belts, the Hans devices, and we got fire suppression systems in her car, and there's extra safety bars in her car. Well, we definitely keep trying to make her car safer than probably the way I run my own car.
Yeah, and I imagine that's just, that's you have your own comfort level with all that stuff, and I'm sure that that goes into a lot of that decision making and everything.
Yeah, no doubt.
And let's talk about another brand of racing that we've seen you into recently. And I know it's not a new thing, or it doesn't sound like it was a new thing. We saw you in a full fendered car down at the Glen.
Yeah, we have past couple of years. A friend of mine has had some cars, and I ended up building my own car. It's a 2005 Indianapolis Casey Kane car that was built for a road course deal. It's got that letter scheme on it, and we go do some endurance races, hour and a half long races with these. It's kind of what they call like a vintage club where you race against a bunch of stock cars. And then there's other days you just go down to the Glen on a track day, which is open track day, and you just go down with your buddies and have a good time. I mean, I tell everybody I race with, they would all love it. It's a good time. You get to go down there, you compete against yourself. And then there's other times we go down there and we race an endurance race, and you're in the car for 45 minutes to an hour and a half. So no, it's a good time, and their road course stuff is very technical too, and I'm really enjoying doing it. And we actually leave for Indianapolis. There's a big vintage race in Indianapolis Motor Speedway, first time ever. June, I think it's the 4th through the 7th. We're going out there to run our cars out there actually for a week.
Wow. Now, have you ever been out there to do that before?
No, this is the first time ever they've had a vintage. I don't know how many thousand cars are going to be there. It's a full vintage week, stock cars and Indy cars. I mean, everything that's ever ran out there isn't, there's a certain group that's been invited to it, and I've been lucky enough. A friend of mine was invited, and we're taking 2 cars. So, we get to run on the road course for a couple days, and we actually get to take one session, about a half-hour session or something like that, 45-minute session. We get to actually run our cars around, the big track. I mean, it's not like you're going to go, up the pole speed or nothing, but, I imagine we'll run around the place, 150, 160 miles an hour or something like that.
Man, I would imagine even a pace lap around IMS would be something else.
Exactly. That's what I tell my wife. We're skipping a few sprint car races, but kind of a once-in-a-lifetime deal. To be able to go to Indy to start with, I've never been there even to watch, but more or less run a race car on the road course and on the big track is going to be a pretty good week.
That's awesome. Well, Chuck, we wish you a lot of luck this weekend coming up out at Albany Fonda and Utica Rome, of course, and we'll keep tabs on things. Congratulations on the win down at Woodhull a couple weeks ago, and thanks a lot for your time tonight.
All right, thanks for calling. Yeah, hopefully you bring a little luck to us this weekend. Thanks again.
Hey, we'll do what we can here.
All right,
thanks a lot, Chuck.
Talk to you later.
All right, that is the Cobra, Chuck Heaving, joining us on the Turn 5 hotline tonight. They're getting ready for a big Eastern New York State swing this weekend with Albany, Saratoga, Fonda, and Utica Rome. We'll go off to a break. When we come back, more local racing talk. You're listening to Turn 5. Penn Yan Electronics is the official Radio Shack dealer of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. They're also the only Radio Shack dealer in the Penn Yan area. Visit them at 103 Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan for all of your electronics, cable, music, and cell phone needs. Visit Penn Yan Electronics or give them a call, 315-536-7700. Penn Yan Electronics. RaceChaserOnline.com is your home for news, views, and driver interviews. You can catch everything from F1 to IndyCar, NASCAR, short track, and dirt car. You can also find them on Speed 77 Radio Mondays on Shoutcast. Catch Motorsports Madness live at 7 p.m. and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report Thursdays at 7 p.m. Race Chaser Online. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. If you need karaoke for your bar or party, or if you need the photo booth to create memories that'll last a lifetime, give Stu a call at 315-481-9700, or you can find him on Facebook, search Creekside Entertainment, or find him on the World Wide Web, www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com.
Your dirt track home for news, discussion, and driver interviews along with race results. You're listening to Turn 5.
Welcome back in, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. I've got a little bit of a different episode for you this week. I'm your host, Steve Ovens, all alone here in the Casa de Pork Chop Studios. We do want to bring you some race results for what we have. We talked already about Shangri-La 2, and we talked about Lightning on the Mountain out at Thunder Mountain Speedway. Let's get to some of this past weekend's results. Let's start out with the Canandaigua Motorsports Park. Congratulations, Matt Billings, picking up his first big block modified feature at the Land of Legends. They come from a long ways away to come down and race at Canandaigua. So big props out to Matt Billings on taking home that win. Dale Plank came home second. Billy Dunn third. Peter Britton, Batman, came home fourth, and Super Matt Shepard rounded out your top five there at the Land of Legends. Safety Awareness Solutions sportsman Steve Gray got the win over Nick Guerry, and really feel bad for Nick. Had that race won and come through 3 and 4, and from what I understand, had a drive shaft issue there. Had a mechanical failure, and Nick coasted across the line in second. Tyler Meeks was third, Rob Bussey fourth, and congratulations to our good buddy Frank Guerry Jr. Picked up his first top five in the sportsman division, and he's been working real hard, had a lot of hard luck so far this year. It's great to see Frankie get up there in the top five, so congratulations there, bud. Dig Safely New York 305 Race Saver Sprints, John Preston got his first win there with the 305s. Lee Sanders came home second. Daryl Ruggles third. Nick Cooper in the Great Clips ride fourth. Will Glover rounded out your top five there in the 305s. Parts Plus Street Stock finish. Looked like Paseric had a win, but coming through 3 and 4 out on the high side, Pete Stavansky come around and took the win there in the Parts Plus Street Stock Pro Street Stock division there. Paseric was your heat winner. And in the Pure Stocks, Brad Rathbun, who we know from running over at Yates County Speedway. Of course, he ran back when it was still called the Black Rock Speedway, but he got a Pure Stock feature win, and congratulations to Brad. Those guys work hard to get out to the racetrack every week, and it's good to see a new guy in victory lane. Tim Baker picked up the New Legend Sportsman feature win out there at the Land of Legends. Let's get over to Woodhall. S&W Awards and Photos, 360 late models. 25 laps, 16 cars in attendance. Heat wins by Mike Wunderling Sr. and Jared Hill. But it was John Waters picking up his second win of the year at Woodhall over Mike Wunderling Sr., Mike Wunderling, Carl Hughes, and Glenn Rittenau are your top five. Insinger Performance 370 Modifieds, 19 cars in attendance. Heats taken by Stacy Jackson, Josh Nebriga, and Billy Van Pelt. And getting his first win of the year in his new ride, BVP, Billy Van Pelt, took the win over Mike Bills, Frank Dunning, Josh Nebriga, and Stacy Jackson were your top five there in the 370 Modifieds. Joe Wilcox Performance Street Stocks, 13 cars in attendance. They ran features only, and getting his second win of the year, Jared Dennis. Over Teddy Morseman, Tracy Dunn, Dylan Cece in the Flying X gets a nice top five run. Gary Archer rounded out your top five. Napa Crate Sportsman, 25 cars in attendance. Heat races taken by Chris Doherty, Mike Jackson, and Bob Buno. Feature win, second of the year, 2013 points champion Chris Doherty got the win over Mike Buchanan, Brett Buno, Russ Morseman, and AJ Costley was your top five for the Sportsman. Mini Stocks, they ran features only, 12 cars. Brandon Morseman picked up the win in the Mini Stocks over Jason Gleason, Josh Collins, Brian Grant, and Ricky Amadon. Woodhall Auto Supply front-wheel drives, 10 cars, getting his first win of the year. Adam Del Grosso over Carl LeBaron, Ryan Austin, Joe Bertzel, and Matt Prescott. They had 6 classes of cars, 97 cars in attendance. Start time due to a rain delay was 10:17 p.m. End time of 12:49 a.m. Their Napa Driver of the Week was Ron Cartwright. Also wanted to mention, we've talked at length about the street stocks, particularly at Woodhall. And as we understand, there was a little bit of a powwow there at Woodhall with the street stock drivers. looks like for this coming week, they've opened up the rules at Woodhull to allow Yates County cars to come in. I know at least that much. Haven't really seen any press release about that, but I from what we understand from the racing action there Saturday night, that did come out. So if you have any questions about that, get a hold of the Woodhull Raceway. Would love to see a whole slew of new cars come over there and put on a great show. So also with the Woodhull, Saturday, May 31st is their fire and EMS night. So with proper identification, you can get into the races, which is awesome. I think every track should do that, and most of them do. Of course, that's coming from a former EMS guy himself. So props to Woodhull Raceway for doing that. More results here. ESS at Selinsgrove. Mark Smith took the $3,175 win there for the Mach 1 chassis Sprint Spectacular. So with Mark Smith getting the win there, they got to keep the Mach 1 sponsorship money right in-house there. Jason Schultz came home second. Cody Keller third. Pat Cannon fourth. Steve Poirier came home fifth. Jamie Collard and Dwayne Mosteller were involved in a hard accident there in turn 3. Both of those guys got airlifted from the hospital, or airlifted from the speedway to a local hospital. And just today on Facebook, I was able to read that Jamie Collard was discharged from the hospital. Does have a couple broken vertebrae and some internal injuries, but he is healed up well enough to let them discharge him back home. So that's great to see. Reached out to ESS, and Dwayne Mosteller is going to have a long road. He's being treated for head injuries when he was airlifted Saturday night from Selinsgrove. So we wish for the best for Dwayne and his family at this time. Now, the only portion of the episode that we recorded on Monday night was the back half where we talk about our weekend plans and our NASCAR picks. So I'm going to take it over to that to close out the show, and we will see you guys next week. We will be out at the Little Valley Speedway for round 1 of the BRP Tour on Sunday night. I'm going to be out there taking photos, getting interviews, doing all sorts of good stuff there. Other races that we're planning on this weekend, I'm going to be going out to Little Valley on Friday to catch the Patriot Sprint Tour out there at Freedom. I think I just said Little Valley.
Yeah.
I got Little Valley on the mind. Freedom Speedway Friday night for the Patriot Sprint Tour. We'll be out there covering all the action. We'll have interviews with the winner and some other finishers on next week's episode. So going to be a good night there at Freedom. Boys, anybody going to the races on Saturday?
I don't know. I guess a lot depends on the weather. Where if I do, I'll take my kids with me.
Yep.
And if I do go, it'll probably be the Land of Legends.
Okay, fair enough. And looking at Little Valley on Sunday, and we'll see what Monday holds. I see the Victoria 200 is Monday out at Utica Rome, so we'll see what the weather holds out. I'm considering it, but we'll see what happens. So before we get out of here, we got to make our NASCAR picks. Coca-Cola 600 this weekend, Memorial Day weekend here, and
Clint won the showdown.
Clint won the. It's pretty sad when a 9th place finish.
Seventh.
I thought it was 9th. We'll win you $15. So congrats to Clint. He got 5 wadded up $1 bills from Brad. So that was nice. Let's look at the Coca-Cola 600 for this weekend at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Brad, since how Kyle Larson didn't even make the field for the All-Star race, we'll give you first pick for the Coke 600.
Well,
that's a deep subject.
I went on a limb. It was a very small limb.
Josh Wise.
It was kind of a dead limb.
What's up with him getting the vote?
I'll tell you why. They rigged it. Well, they didn't rig the system, but they found a loophole in the voting. One guy voted 85. What was it? Did you see that story, Brad?
No, I heard all about it, though.
Yeah. I think they said one guy voted 85,000 times.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable. But
Hey,
anyway,
if
back
you know
to
how
Brad's
to work
pick.
the system. I'm going to be selfish, and I'm going to go with Casey Kane.
Ooh. That was a good pick. He was on my list. I'm going to get second pick. I took Kyle Busch last week, and he cost me $15 with his bonehead move on Clint Bouyer.
Who had a fast car, by the way.
Who had a fast car.
I'm still not picking him.
I know you're not picking him, but, he's got to win there in the last couple years, and he was really fast the other night. I'm going to go with Clint Bowyer. Future daddy.
Wow.
Going with Clint Bowyer.
Wow.
Clint, you get last pick. I know. I left him on the table. I know it. Don't even say it. I left him on the table.
Keegan will love me.
Yeah.
I'm going with Jeff Gordon.
Ooh. Okay. All right. We'll see. So Brad goes with... I've already forgot what Brad picked.
Casey Kane.
Casey Kane. That's right. Old Blue Eyes.
I'm going to start wanting my money back from Time Warner if he doesn't pick it up.
I'll take Clint Bowyer. Clint's going to go with Big Daddy, Jeff Gordon.
The old man.
Yep. So those are our NASCAR picks. Clint and I are tied up at the front in points. Brad's just a little ways back. We've got a lot of racing action coming at you. We're going to have so many interviews for you next week. It's going to be an awesome show. Thanks for subscribing to us on YouTube, Podbean.com, iTunes, wherever you can find Turn 5. We thank you for your time, and
take a kid to the races.
Absolutely. We'll see you out at the races this weekend.
You're listening
to Turn 5.